Hello everyone. Now you will hear a short summary of the film The Karate Kid Legends. Enjoy watching Mr. Han. Respected Shifu master of the Kung Fu school in Beijing. Despite his mother's prohibition, his grandson Li is studying here. Li Mei has already lost her oldest son because of Kung Fu, so she asks her uncle not to fill her son's head with martial arts. Moreover, she got a job in New York. So soon they will move to America. Li would like to stay here, but his mother is adamant. A new life awaits there and leave your Kung Fu here. The kid had to obey. They settled in a small apartment in Chinatown. In the evening, Li went out for a walk and bought pizza for dinner. At the nearest pizzeria, they were rude to the migrant, and they were also surprised by his request. What else? Toilet paper. Sorry, but I was flying from Beijing today, at 18. It won't be easy for the new guy to get to school every day. He'll have to get used to the new routine and the strange American food. On his way home from school, Li helped the girl who worked at a pizzeria. They became friends pretty quickly. Li was fascinated by the guys who were training at the local karate school. For some reason, Mia was upset and advised the guy to choose another dojo. The owner of the gym, Osha, came over. Mia's father owed money to a gangster and Connor. Mia's ex-boyfriend also trains at this school. I just saw your Mia on the street. She found a replacement for you really quickly. The partner laughed at Connor and immediately got knocked out after a kick. Li pretended to be Mia's boyfriend and knocked down the price of a part at a Chinese store and then arranged for Mia to show him the city. What are we on a date for? It's not a date at all. Mia arranged a tour for her friend on a scooter, which broke down pretty quickly, so they had to go home by subway. Connor and his friends approached them in the carriage. The jealous man asked if the Chinese knew Kung Fu, and then started pestering Mia. Li stood up for her and got punched in the eye when he passed by Connor. Mia advised her friend not to mess with the Wonker. He trains constantly and wins the 5 Streets Cup every time, a tournament among the best karatekas. Today Li will come home with a Vingle. What's wrong with you, Delayer? We'll help. Victor is a master at hiding bruises. The man had been boxing for a long time, even becoming a city champion. Apply us at night and sleep with a tea bag tonight. Black green Lipton. Oh what? Oh, we agreed not to fight anymore. Mom blamed Li himself for everything. Like you can always avoid a fight. The woman introduced her son to his tutor Alan. After all, the boy must definitely go to college. Li remembers how his older brother once showed him a spectacular kick called the Dragon Leap. Li himself couldn't repeat it, only hurt his ass. The next day, Connor continued to pester Li. The newcomer accepted the challenge mockingly. Caratus said that he could unwind him even without his hands, and he was not lying. Connor landed the Chinese on the asphalt using only his legs. Li decided that it was high time to try the praying mantis jump again. However, Connor dodged and kicked him again. The karateka invited the newcomer to come to the 5 Districts Cup. Everything would be serious there. That same evening, bandits came to Victor to beat a dead out of him. The man was knocked out by a blow to the head from behind. Li was supposed to be next, but the guy used his kung fu skills and began to beat the bandits. He was not very confident in it, but nevertheless Trinity was beaten and ran away in disgrace. I thought I was going to save you. Unfortunately, Oshi won't stop there. His people will continue to put pressure on Victor. The man said that he quit boxing when Mia was born. He had to swap boxing gloves for an apron for a stable income. Victor would like to take part in a boxing tournament and earn decent money, but for this, Li needs to teach him his trick. The boy called his grandfather and asked him for advice. Should he teach a friend Kung Fu? You need to share your knowledge. Shifu answered confidently. You're a bit old, your punches are visible, and your movements are so. So then why did you come? I can fix it. Li suggested starting with sparring. He needed to understand what this pensioner was capable of. Suddenly Mia walked in. Victor had to explain himself to his daughter, but the girl didn't believe that anything would come of it. They would most likely just their father. Lee hung a portrait of Jackie Chan on the wall and ordered that he be revered as a god. The schoolboy started to drive the man like a kid. Victor will train constantly, even when he makes pizza or when he rides the subway. Everything in the world can be turned into kung fu at the same time. Sam Lee began to replace Victor at the pizzeria. The boxer remembered his younger years and got himself in shape. Maybe you'll be enough for a couple of fights. Lin looked at his student and also wanted to kick a punching bag. The kid told Victor how a year ago his brother won a kung fu tournament. The main rival could not forgive him for this and attacked with his friends on the street. One of them took out a knife and stabbed his brother. Now Lee is tormented by a feeling of guilt, as if he could have done something. Once Mia invited Lee to go to an Italian cuisine festival. Dude, she's yours. We're just friends. Lee came to the festival and saw Mia chatting nicely with her ex. Who is this? I told you we're just friends. Victor has been learning kung fu for the last week, so he can fight in the boxing ring. Lee is upset with Mia and doesn't want to talk to her anymore. She was so friendly with that Connor. But you know, sometimes we make stupid mistakes. Enough, I get it. It didn't happen to me again yesterday. Connor tried again, but I told him it was impossible because I have someone to make new mistakes with. Mia almost kissed seriously. Oh, we're just with him. I don't want to hear it. You're lucky. You already have someone to send. Knockout Victor headed to the ring. O'Shea with a satisfied Harry said that he had bet against him. Lee will be Victor's second. Don't be shy, become water, not stone. Victor promised his daughter that he would win and started the fight very confidently. However, his opponent quickly broke him. Victor takes too much and won't last long. But one good cross put his opponent on his ass. This knockdown turned the fight around. The boxer in blue gloves went into a spin. All that was left was to finish him off. But then the man on O'Shea's orders hit Victor with his elbow several times, after which he brutally knocked him out. Victor even had to be rushed to the hospital. Lee was scared, just like he had been a year ago when his older brother died, so he couldn't support Mia. Lee May also scolded her son for breaking his promise. I'll go resuscitate your friend. The boy was disappointed in himself. He no longer wanted to have anything to do with martial arts. Lee wandered around New York all day and didn't even answer Mr. Hand's calls. One day when the schoolboy returned home, he realized that there was someone in the apartment, and it was clearly not his mother. Suddenly, an unknown person attacked him and began to pummel him using kung fu. When the lights came on, it turned out that this was Grandpa Han having fun. Mom was not at all happy about her uncle's visit. We'll visit your friend this afternoon. Now clean up. Mia immediately ran out of the room when she saw Lee. Victor isn't mad at the kid. His head is busy with thoughts of how to get out of the city somewhere far away because he still hasn't paid his debt. Merhan volunteered to help the stranger. His grandson will participate in the 5 Streets tournament. They have 10 whole days to prepare. Han was friends with Mr. Miyagi in his youth, so he came to his dojo, the Altar of Rice Vodka. There he met Miyagi's student. Daniel Han asked the man to teach his grandson karate. After all, the tournament will be in karate, not kung fu. Alan, as a real botanist, inherited the Hanging Gardens. This is where Lee will train. Shifu uses Chinese exercise machines and the tough methods of their school. Grandpa doesn't care that Lee May is against his son's participation in the tournament. Daniel came here even though he didn't really want to tell me. Don't you realize that you can't master karate in just a week? Daniel wanted to start the Sozos, but the old master is not going to give his grandson a break, so he gave him a good beating. At the same time, Connor is furiously destroying wooden planks. O'Shea teaches him to beat his opponents half to death and doesn't forget about matters of the heart. He ordered pizza to be delivered to his kindergarten and gave me a Pepsi there. The girl found out that the Chinese man intends to participate in the tournament. For the sake of their family, he will give all the prize money to Victor. There is one problem. I think I'm falling in love with Alan. The Five Boroughs tournament is taking place in the courtyard of some ghetto. Lee will have his first fight against Buddha Stevenson. It will end with the fighter scoring 8 points or a knockout. Lee chose the second option and sent Buddha to take a nap. Like Conor, Lee is easily moving up the tournament grid. Victor has finally been discharged from the hospital and returned home. With the help of a spectacular blow, Conor reached the tournament final. Lee is not far behind, having knocked out his opponent. He also became a finalist. O'Shane ordered his men to the kid, but the old man stood up for him. The tournament final will take place only in a week. The winner will receive $50,000. Did Daniel suggest using Conor's own aggression against him? He and Han argue about which technique is best for this and practice them on a poor schoolboy. When Lee is not being beaten by the old men, he jumps among the plants. Daniel is interested in the rhinoceros jump. It is a pity that Conor cannot be defeated with this technique. Sensei suggested improving the strike to deceive the opponent. The student will need to dive under Conor. Will Lee practice the technique on the turnstile in the subway? Each unsuccessful attempt ends with a small concussion. Conor and Lee train non-stop, only their methods are different. Finally, Lee managed to perform a fly-agaric jump with a sweep. He is ready for the final. The fight will take place on the roof of a skyscraper. Today, even Lee's mother came to support him. Sensei and Shifu gave the student his final instructions to branch his one tree. A crowd of spectators gathered on the roof. The challenger was the first to step onto the tatami. The champion is confident in his superiority because he has already defeated the Chinese. Conor went on the attack and earned the first 2 points. Then another accurate blow to the solar plexus. Conor dominates with a powerful blow from both legs. He put Lee down along with the referee. O'Shea is pleased with his student, but Lee is not going to give up. He stopped missing blows and soon earned the first point. The score is 4-1. The fight is now on equal terms. Soon Lee equalized the score. Conor has lost his former confidence. Moreover, the Chinese brought ropes with him. However, everything could have been decided by a powerful blow to the head, after which the Chinese man briefly lost consciousness. But the referee did not have time to count to 0. Lee pulled himself together and got to his feet. The score on the board was 7-7. One blow would decide everything. It was time to use the prepared technique. Conor remembered it well, so he did not expect a trick. No, Lee suddenly made a sweep, and then earned the winning point with a powerful blow to the chest. Lai Fong is the new champion. However, Conor could not come to terms with this and attacked him from behind. Lee threw his opponent over himself and was about to finish him off, but Mr. Han asked his student to calm down. Lee listened and helped Conor get to his feet. Friends and family welcomed the hero. After that, Victor's business went uphill. Now Alan works in the pizzeria. We will miss you here, hands in reverse. Come to Beijing, we will open a 3rd location.